Whoa, that's spicy. Whoa. Hi everybody, my name is Jenny and I'm sitting on a 10-year-old's bed. It's a long story. It's very hard for me to find a place for my camera, but this is gonna have to do. I'm gonna do a mini mukbang while I talk about some BS that happened at the airport on my way back to Los Angeles. Ah, can you see me? Okay. So first to eat, I'm so excited. I've got jackfruit crab cakes, which is not gonna work. Oh man. And then they came with like tartar sauce. These are vegan and gluten-free. There's no way to show you this. The light's awful. Got some jackfruit crab cakes. Hello. Some polenta tots. I'm so excited. Doesn't seem like a lot for what I ordered. Yeah, that's not very much. I was expecting a lot more food than this, honestly, for what I paid. But I've already ordered it, so oh well. Got some napkins and a variety of sauces. There's like an aioli for the polenta, and then I don't want the marinara. They gave me pesto and marinara. I guess the polenta, like you just dip it in a bunch of stuff. And then the tartar sauce for the fake crab cakes, which I think is this. I think it's the creamy one. Jeez, I don't know. So, my story. So if you watched my last video, know I've been out of town. I was in Alabama my last video, but I've been in Georgia at my home, and we went to Savannah for a little bit, and then I went to Alabama by myself, and then came back to Georgia, and then I came back to Los Angeles. So I've been gone about 3.5 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks, which is why I haven't really posted much. But on my way back, so my mom got me a shuttle to the Atlanta airport, and I don't even really feel like telling this story. Hold on, I'm gonna turn it off. Let me focus. This is so good. I'm just gonna have to hold this, I guess, while I talk. This crab cake, or this jackfruit fake crab cake, I mean, it's insane. It comes with tartar sauce. It's insane. It's so good. Anyway, so I was flying one airline home, and my mom gets me a shuttle from her house to the airport in Atlanta, and that shuttle's supposed to drop me off at the curbside check-in so that I can drop my bags and then go check in. Now, I want to preface all this with, I usually get wheelchair access at the airport, or wheelchair service, because it's just really difficult for me to get around an airport. I usually end up in a lot of pain and I'm really tired, and it's just a lot more helpful to have wheelchair service, and it's a service that's available. So that's what I do. Especially this trip, because I had so much luggage, and it's been a rough trip physically. So I get dropped off, and I realize they dropped me off at Delta, and I said, this isn't my airline. If you've ever flown either through Atlanta or have gone in or out of Atlanta, you know their airport is one of the biggest in the country, let alone the world. It's a massive airport. So it's not like you can get dropped off somewhere and just walk easily to the next. So I look at my driver and I'm like, you can't drop me off here. This isn't my thing. And so he said, no, I'm sorry, I have to, your place is under construction. And I can't imagine this. I can't be the only person with a disability that has had this happen. And I don't know how they handled it, because there was nothing in place to handle this. So I get dropped off on the curb, and the guy was like, just get a wheelchair from Delta. And I tried to explain to him it doesn't work that way. Each airline has their own wheelchairs and own people that wheelchair people. It's not like a universal thing. So he drops me off, and I go to the Delta guy that's standing there, and I said, hey, I need wheelchair service inside, but I'm not flying Delta. And he just goes, well, then I can't help you, sorry. And I was like, well, I have a disability, I have to have wheelchair access. And he was like, I can't help you. He was so rude. And I just burst into tears because the shuttle driver was taking off. I'm stuck there with all this luggage. I'm afraid I'm gonna miss my flight because I got there 2 hours before, which you're supposed to do, but I also am nowhere near my gate or whatever it's called, check-in for Southwest. So I'm hysterically crying now, and I call my mom, and at some point, I guess the Delta guy's colleague decides to be nice and gives me his chair, and then I think he went and got security, someone from security, to see if they could get like an airport wheelchair person to help me. Meanwhile, I'm just crying because it had been a really bad trip. I didn't feel well. I was already frustrated. It already is uncomfortable to have to draw attention to myself anywhere, and it just was bad. So the airport security person comes along with a lady in a wheelchair, and they couldn't have looked more annoyed to be there in their life. I mean, they looked so annoyed. And the airport lady was like, all right, you need a wheelchair? Here. And I go, and she was like, why are you crying? She said, all you've been doing since you got here has been complaining. We're trying to help you, and you just sit here and you complain. Meanwhile, I'm hysterically crying. And I was like, everyone's being so rude to me. This is shocking to me. And she was like, they were rude to you, but it's over now, so why don't you get over it, and if you need the wheelchair, get the wheelchair. If not, fine. And I'm hysterically crying, and the wheelchair lady is glaring at me. She just looks like she'd rather do anything. And she goes, all this luggage is with you too? What are you going to do with it? And I was like, I need to take it. It's my luggage. And I start crying harder. And then she's rolling her eyes at me. And I looked at her and I was like, you don't have to roll your eyes at me. And she throws her hands up in the air and was like, I'm not going to help you anymore, and walks away. And then the Atlanta security person at the airport, she was like, I'm so over your complaining. And I think she even tried to joke about it to one of the people in line for Delta. And she was like, bye. And they left the wheelchair, and they leave me on the side, and the Delta people basically all but threw their fingers up at me. They did not do that, but they couldn't have been ruder. I'm telling you right now, I will never fly Delta Airlines ever after this. I'm so disgusted by their customer service. I'm so disgusted by the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport, or whatever the hell it's called. That's how they treat people with disabilities. And those people, that woman who wheeled that wheelchair out, if she hates her job that much that she's going to roll her eyes at someone who needs a wheelchair, then she shouldn't have that job. That should be a job for someone who has compassion. So I'm hysterical now. My mom is on the phone. She was like, just get in a cab, come home, we'll figure it out. And I didn't know what to do. And so this really nice woman, she is in line to drop her luggage off at Delta. And she sees me, and she comes over, and she's so kind, and she was like, I told her everything that happened, and she goes, well, I'm going to get you to your check-in. And I said, no, you're going to be late to your gate. And she said, I'll be fine. We'll figure this out. She said, I'm a mom. I wouldn't let my child be stuck here. You shouldn't have to deal with this. So she wheels me across the airport to Southwest. And when I say across the airport, I mean across the airport. When we're going there is no way I could have made it there. There's absolutely no way I could have made it there. So I'm pushing one of my suitcases. She's pulling another one while she's pushing me. I mean, she's a hero. And I felt so much gratitude, but I also felt so bad that I put her out. It was just awful. And she gets me to Southwest, who could not have been nicer. They were so kind and so nice, and they immediately were like, we've got her. They checked me in. They did everything. They made sure I had a wheelchair person get me to my gate. They couldn't have been kinder. And that is how you're supposed to treat someone who's paying money for a plane. I get it. I wasn't paying money to fly Delta. I have flown Delta in the past, though. And like I said, I will never fly Delta again. It's so despicable to me the way they treated me. It's so despicable to me the way the Atlanta airport treated me. Luckily, Southwest had a heart and was kind. And that was the end of my trip. That's how I got to cap my trip, was by that. Anyway, I wanted to share that. And I'm going to write about it, I think, because, I don't know, maybe it'll get back to Delta and they can know how shitty their employees are. Other than that, I'm just trying to recoup from this trip. I've spent the last couple of days just sleeping, which is something I didn't do a lot of while I was gone, and relaxing and trying to figure out what I got to start working on. So that's my plan. I'm house sitting right now. I filmed a video on travel tips for traveling with a disability, or traveling with a chronic illness is probably more suitable for the title. I just have to edit it and put it all together because it's just going to take a little more work than normal. And then some things happened while I was in Atlanta that I wasn't ready to talk about publicly, but I'm going to do a video about. So that's going to come up soon. And then I've got a video filmed that I've got to finish editing for when I did cryotherapy while I was home. So I've got those planned. Beyond that, we'll just see what happens. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base, say hi, have a little chat while I eat, and rant about how awful Delta and the Atlanta airport are. I just realized I didn't try the polenta cakes while I was on the phone. What is this? A camera. On the camera. Do I try them with pesto or do I try them with aioli? There's all these aiolis here. At least I know they're vegan. Usually sauces aren't vegan, so I can't eat them. So I'm get really excited when they are. This is like tastes like a ranch, I think. That's good. I just don't like the sauce. It's better with pesto. Well, it's like a little overwhelming. Let me see. I might just have to eat them with this tartar sauce if there's any left. There's this other sauce they gave me that's red. It's not red, it's like a peach color. Also, I had brought my lighting equipment to Atlanta because I was going to start my series where I'm filming all my friends, and it just didn't happen. There was too much going on. But my massive light bulbs broke on the way back. Even though I put Fragile all over my bag and I packed them well, I thought. They're shattered. Whoa, that's spicy. Whoa. No, no, no. It's like, holy shit. Okay, that, oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh my god, that is like next level spice. Oh my god, no. No, no, no. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to end my video there. Thank you for watching. Tune in later for all those videos I just said I'm going to have. And if you have any awful airline stories, write them below. I'd like to hear them. Maybe it'll make me feel better about myself. Alright, rant over. I'll see you whenever I decide to film another video. Bye.